So, with all the veggies that we're finding at the farmer's market, a really fun way and yummy way to cook them is roasting. So we are going to roast some veggies today.
Well, and so many people say to us, how come your veggies taste so much better than mine when I roast them? And it's like, I don't know if it's the love we pour into them.
Yes.
Or the ingredients, whether they're fresh farmer's market, because that's where we do all of our shopping, or how much oil and the kind of salt that you use and the garlic, because really that's all that's in this.
It's the fresh veggies. Today we're going to be using summer squash and cauliflower.
Right? And with the summer squash, just so you know, there's so many different kinds of squashes. Our favorite squash is this. It's a Mexican squash, all right? And these are all summer squashes, by the way. You have winter squash, and now we're into summer squash, okay? So you have the regular zucchini squash, all right? Typical green.
It's a large one. That's a very large one.
You have yellow. Then you have the crookneck. And you have, these are all considered patty pan, all right? Squashes. And
Round squash.
even a round squash, which you can cut out, stuff it, really delicious.
Yeah.
All right? So all we're doing really is we're cutting the zucchini in half, and then Megan over there is just
But make them into little cubes. You want them all relatively the same size so that when they're roasting, it's like...
They cook evenly.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's okay if they're not perfect.
Oh gosh, no. We are not the perfect cooks in terms of, perfection, but I always like to cut the bigger ones in half. And then if they're really wide, I'll take them and I'll cut them in thirds. So I'll have 1, 2, 3 pieces like that. And then what I'll do is I'll take and cut them in thirds again. This is a great exercise, by the way, teaching kids about fractions and cutting things in thirds and half, and then cutting them into the same amount of diced pieces. And it's also really great too because the kids, if you give them, you don't need a really sharp knife for this. The kids love to cut. And this was probably one of the first things that we had all the girls cut was a squash.
And I love this with the cauliflower. It's really easy. I'm just kind of following the different little florets that you have in here. And I'm not using the stem. Use some of it, but not all of it. Just not as, it's a little tougher. And
so I'm going to cut up a patty pan. Now these are a little bit different, all right, because they're not round. I'm cutting off one stem, and then I'm cutting off another stem, and then I'm going to cut them also relatively the same thickness that I was doing before, and then I'm going to cut it more in half, and then again in thirds, and then it just looks roughly about the same size. Okay?
Yep. And I think this is looking good with all the veggies that we are going to.
Oh my goodness.
So our oven's been preheating at, depending on your preference, I like cooking it at 400 degrees for less amount of time.
And I like cooking it at 325 because I like the natural sugars to come out. And it's always better to cook things longer, lower heat. But sometimes we're in a rush.
So
and
our oven right now is at 350 and we already have some in there.
So we're going to show you what it looks like in a minute.
Yeah.
So this looks good, Meg. I think this is plenty.
I'm going to put in the last head.
Okay, put the last head in. While Megan's cutting that up, I'm going to go ahead and take about, again, your preference.
We love garlic.
Very heavily handed on the garlic.
And this is what's going to make it taste really good, so don't be shy.
But if you don't, you can't. There's some people we're finding that can't have garlic. It's too strong for them. So you can use shallot. Shallot's from the same family.
Really good.
Delicious. And adds a nice flavor.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to add a couple pinches of salt.
I like to salt mine at the end.
Okay, so that's Megan's and me, a little bit different. And then Meg, go ahead and pour a little bit of the olive oil on. Now this is the trick. Well, I'm going to do it because you don't want to make it too soggy. If it's too soggy, then they kind of taste soggy. And so you want to, this is perfect, Megan.
Depends.
They're wetted. You're like basically wetting the vegetables. And then at this point, if you wanted to, you can add some fresh or dried herbs. So bring over our parchment lined. Let's move this out of the way.
So we have a baking sheet, parchment lined, just easy cleanup.
So it's awesome.
All about it.
Then we're going to pour this. Now Megan is the queen of roasting vegetables because she takes the time to make sure
They're all evenly spread out.
And everyone has their own space, okay?
Because when they get too crowded or when they're on top of each other, they're not going to get that nice crispness, caramelized. So we're just kind of giving them all a little space.
Because isn't that what everyone really goes for, is the brown, crunchy, caramelized ones?
Yeah, everyone, that's what they do so good.
It's so good. All right, so this is ready to go in. Now, I like to add pepper to mine. Megan's keeping it simple.
Yeah, fresh. You want to taste the freshness of all these ingredients that we're getting and of the season right now.
And this has really good salt. So like after you've mixed it and you taste it, you can tell if there's enough salt on it as well. This has plenty of salt on it.
Yeah, so just a good big pinch.
Okay.
And
now we're going to get ready and put it in the oven.
Oh
my God, these came so beautiful.
Perfection.
Oh, yeah. So the trick to this is you want to make two, because see what Megan does? The minute you put them on the counter, even if your kids won't eat vegetables, they'll eat these.
And you're trying to find the most crispy ones.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh my
Paris
goodness.
is doing it too. So this is why it's so easy. You just pick up the parchment paper.
Okay.
And then
we're just
pour it into your dish.
And serve.
Look at this beautiful side. And then you just clean up the last few.
I'm going to put this
pieces.
over here.
There's a few in there.
Okay.
Every
that's
last
hot.
one needs to make it in.
That's right. No waste. So this dish is fabulous as a side. It's great over rice or over quinoa or any kind of grain that you want. Even in our riced cauliflower dish, this is awesome.
On pastas.
So many different recipes. So visit us for this recipe and more at currygirlskitchen.com.
But this exact recipe will be on Curry Girl's Kitchen.
Roasted vegetables. Yes. So visit us on Facebook and Pinterest and Instagram, all of it. And let us know what you think.
Because we are obsessed with these.
Oh my
and they're so good.
Oh yeah.